Welcome back. As Nigeria's political landscape begins to shift ahead of the 2027 general election, opposition figures are laying out competing visions for the country's future. Among them, the presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, Peter Obi, has unveiled what he described as a radically different blueprint for governing Africa's most populous nation. From insecurity and the economy to corruption and the cost of governance, Obi says his administration will pursue a new direction if elected.
And with Nigerians, you look at is the competence of the person, the capacity, the compassion, the character and commitment. So wherever I find myself, I've continued to preach that I'm going to change here. And those things you're saying will come if you have a good person in office. For example, part of my movement, because the people in government have refused to have stability within the polity. So I will support opposition. I will encourage opposition. I will ensure that opposition parties function as good as party in government.
But the bigger question is this: can these promises be translated into action? And will they convince Nigerians looking for change? Speaking during a 2-hour interview on the national television program, Sunday Politics, Obi presented an ambitious agenda centered on security, economic transformation, transparency, and leadership by example. He also renewed his pledge to serve only a single 4-year term if elected president in 2027, insisting that one term will be enough to place Nigeria on the path of sustainable development and restore public confidence in government.
You can change and start driving this vehicle called Nigeria in the wrong direction in 6 months. We are headed in the wrong direction now.
As it is right now?
Yes.
Bola Tinubu is leading us nowhere. That's your...
You can see it. That's why people might say I call for his resignation. That's why maybe I'm calling for his retirement. He doesn't listen.
The man should just go step aside.
Yes, so they have the capacity to do the job.
You don't trust him any longer.
No. The Bola Tinubu that was governor is not the one that is president today. He's tired. He should be allowed to retire in peace and then go home.
But look at what Donald Trump said.
His remarks come as political activities ahead of the next presidential election continue to gather momentum across the country. One of Obi's strongest promises focused on insecurity, an issue that remains one of Nigeria's greatest national challenges.
And definitely the one that is supported, I will ensure that we work with all our partners and we will do it with much more commitment.
So you get foreign help?
Whatever is possible to secure the country, we will do.
What would you say is, from your own point of view, would you say is the biggest and the most concerning problem or challenge of insecurity in Nigeria today?
Well, a combination of so many things. Poverty. You can't create mass poverty and think you can deal with insecurity. You need to deal with it. The more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. So I will tackle that. So I will deal with so many other issues. You need to invest in education massively. And I am part of so in education. We'll be hands-on. Everybody will see it. Everybody will feel it. We'll be very, very decisive. No, this, because we'll be in charge.
You'll be moving around to ensure that at every point you are seen to be doing the job.
I'm moving around now without being in office.
But as a president, you might not be able to do much of it.
No, I'm employed battle. I went to the villages.
But
I went to the places.
You were not a president. I've been a president, the security and the restrictions.
No, which restriction? If your people are dying, you should be ready to die. You are the president. You are number one person.
So you will go to the ground zero wherever anything
whatever
happens.
it takes to secure any Nigerian, I will do that.
He criticized the current approach to tackling terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other violent crimes, arguing that the country requires more visible and committed leadership. According to Obi, if elected president, he will personally coordinate Nigerians' response to insecurity instead of delegating the responsibility entirely to subordinates. Obi stated that he will regularly visit communities affected by insecurity and ensure that security agencies receive adequate equipment, funding, and operational support. He also promised to strengthen cooperation with both domestic and international partners in the fight against criminal groups. While declining to publicly disclose operational details, Obi maintained that security institutions must be properly equipped and supported if they are to effectively protect lives and property across the country. Beyond military operations, Obi argued that poverty remains one of the major drivers of insecurity in Nigeria. According to him, lasting peace cannot be achieved without reducing unemployment, expanding education opportunities, and creating sustainable economic prospects for young people. He maintained that when poverty continues to rise, insecurity becomes increasingly difficult to control, making economic development an essential component of any long-term security strategy. Turning to the economy, Obi proposed replacing what he described as Nigeria's consumption-driven economic model with a production-based economy focused on agriculture, manufacturing, and support for small and medium-sized businesses. He argued that Nigeria possesses abundant human and natural resources capable of transforming the country into a major global producer, rather than remaining heavily dependent on imports and crude oil revenues. The former Anambra State governor stated that agriculture alone has the potential to generate significant national income if properly developed.
This country can produce enough of what we can eat. And we can actually make more money from agriculture than we make from oil. Because as it is today, we have vast uncultivated land. So we're talking about this thing. The most consumed food in Nigeria, I believe, is rice. From my own studies, is rice. And this country produces annually about, call it less than 10 million tons of a milled rice.
He pledged that his administration will provide stronger support for farmers, improve access to affordable credits, encourage local manufacturing, and create an environment in which businesses can expand, create jobs, and contribute more effectively to economic growth. According to Obi, empowering productive sectors of the economy is essential for reducing poverty and improving national prosperity. Obi also drew comparison with countries such as Bangladesh, the Netherlands, Indonesia, and China, arguing that their economic success demonstrates the importance of supporting local production and attracting long-term productive investments rather than relying heavily on short-term capital inflows. He said Nigeria should prioritize investments capable of creating industries, increasing exports, and generating sustainable employment opportunities for millions of citizens. On fuel subsidy removal, Obi reiterated that he supports ending the subsidy regime but criticized the manner in which the policy was implemented.
That within the subsidy, there was a criminal or corruption side of it, which you needed to eliminate in order to know the actual subsidy and go about in a gradual, organized removal and replacement with investment in other areas. By the way, we're still paying that subsidy. From what is happening now, they just called it different name, because they're now talking about 7 trillion on the recovery or upfront recovery or whatever name they call it. So they actually still doing something that nobody can imagine, even when the fuel has gone up 7 times.
If you win,
these are the things I'm talking about.
If you win the presidency in 2027,
I will be able
will you change it around?
No,
these policies, will you change them?
I will change them.
You will keep it.
But let me tell you, Shane, I will be able to be honest to the people. If our fuel is going to increase from, say, 200 or 300 to 1,000, I, who is elected, not via spokesperson, not via any other channel, will come out and say, this is why it will happen. And even when that is happening, that we are still going to pay this amount to make it 1,000. And whatever we are saving, we are going to put it in this place.
He argued that Nigerians deserve to know how public resources are managed, particularly when government introduces reforms that impose significant economic hardship on ordinary citizens. While acknowledging that some macroeconomic indicators may have improved, Obi maintained that many Nigerians have not yet experienced meaningful improvements in their daily lives. He argued that increases in government revenue and economic statistics have not translated into lower poverty levels or better living standards for average citizens. According to him, economic reform should ultimately be judged by their impact on people's quality of life rather than by statistics alone. The NDC presidential candidate also promised a more aggressive approach to combating corruption. He argued that government should demonstrate the same determination in fighting corruption as it shows when implementing difficult economic reforms. Obi called for greater transparency in public finance, insisting that citizens have the right to receive detailed explanations regarding government expenditures, waivers, and major financial decisions affecting national resources. Responding to questions about his personal integrity, Obi defended his record in public office. He stated that all his assets were properly declared during his tenure as governor of Anambra State and challenged anyone with credible evidence of wrongdoing to make such evidence public. The former governor maintained that accountability should apply equally to all public officials, regardless of political affiliation or status. Another major aspect of Obi's agenda concerns reducing the cost of governance.
How can you budget 54.9 trillion, call it 55 trillion, and then there's 54 trillion waivers? Even the revenue cost of made was just 7 point something trillion. So we granted almost over 4 times their revenue as waiver. And we granted over nearly 70% of our budget as waiver. The money we borrowed. So these are things that are explaining. What is the impact of this waiver on the life of average Nigerian?
He criticized what he described as excessive government spending on luxury assets and unnecessary official privileges. According to him, scarce public resources should instead be redirected towards critical sectors such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. He argued that responsible leadership requires setting priorities that directly improve the lives of ordinary Nigerians rather than expanding government luxury. Obi also reaffirmed his long-standing position that there should be no publicly funded office of the First Lady because it is not established by the Nigerian Constitution. While acknowledging that his wife would naturally perform ceremonial responsibilities as the president's spouse, he said there will be no separate government bureaucracy dedicated to the office. According to him, public funds should only support institutions recognized under the Constitution. On electricity, Obi cautioned against making unrealistic promises, stating that meaningful improvements will require sustained investments across electricity generation, transmission, and distribution, rather than promising immediate nationwide transformation.
We will not give them, I will not sell them, I'm going to give them reliable,
Stable 24-hour.
24-hour system within 4 years is impossible. Because, Sharon, if you want to build a power plant, it will take you about 4 years to build a power plant. If you want to improve our transmission line and improve it, it will take you a number of years. Same thing goes with all your distribution. But remember, I said within 4 years, we will be able to generate not less than 10,000, which we are doing today. We're generating more than 10,000, but we are not able to transmit that.
He proposed expanding successful independent power initiative while encouraging greater private sector participation in the electricity sector to improve long-term supply and reliability. The former presidential candidate also appealed for credible elections in 2027, urging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to guarantee a free, fair, and transparent electoral process. Obi argued that history will remember any leader who ensured Nigerians were able to choose their leaders without interference. He reiterated his belief that he won the 2023 presidential election, but said his immediate focus is presenting Nigerians with what he described as an alternative vision built on competence, integrity, and national development. Reaffirming his commitment to serve only one term if elected, Obi insisted that leadership is measured not by the number of years spent in office, but by the results delivered. Whether Nigerians ultimately embrace his proposal will depend not only on campaign promises, but also on their confidence that those promises can become practical policies. As the 2027 election draws closer, debates over security, economic recovery, governance, and accountability are expected to dominate Nigerians' political conversation, with voters deciding which vision they believe offers the country's best path forward. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you find this report informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more news reports. I'm Chidera Esum. Thanks for watching. Do have a beautiful day.